Jordan Thorne. I'm the editorial content manager at Leaders In. We're here in Vienna, BioEurope Spring 2019, and I'm joined here by Philippe Lopes-Fernandes. He's a senior VP and global head of business development and alliance management. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Jordan.
So I wanted to maybe start off, if you could tell me a little bit about your leadership journey, so sort of how you got into where you are today.
Certainly, Jordan. I had a strange journey because I'm not a scientist. So I joined my company because they were looking for their OTC business for people that were not MD, PhD, or PharmD. So I qualified, and then what was supposed to be only a 2-year period in pharma OTC, and before I joined another fast consumer group, ended up being a 25-year experience in pharma. So, which has been fantastic.
Do you feel like being a leader in biotech differs from other industries? So it's sort of in the way that you have to lead and steer teams. Is it any different?
Well, the difficulty of our industry is, basically it's easier to put a man on the moon than to solve cancer. So it's a very, very difficult industry. I don't think that the leadership style is really different, but the type of decision that you need to make is very complex, and you need to allow that complexity and the fact that you have a ton of data at your hands to make decisions that are going to cost a lot of money and influence life of patients in a huge way. And it's and you don't have the answer. You don't have necessarily a perfect decision process. And you need to allow yourself to lead within that context. And that's sometimes very difficult.
So do you feel sort of you have to have a root cause as a leader to make decisions?
More than a root cause, you need to have a purpose. And the purpose is clear. That's the advantage of this industry. Yeah. It's all about patients.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah.
But in the search of some great outcome for patients, you need to make decisions that involve billions of dollars, and that's very complex.
There's been a lot of research about mentorship and sort of the lack in the executive level of having mentors. Do you think, in your opinion, that mentorship is really important? So
mentors are extremely important, and I've had several mentors, and they've shaped who I am. And it's absolutely critical to have mentors. And I would say mentors, you don't need 10 mentors, but you need 2 or 3, because they complement each other and they bring a good perspective. You need to also pick them well so that they really challenge you and push you out of your comfort zone, so that they really give you something that is different from what you are on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
Especially as a leader, a lot of time you're a bit isolated. And having these mentors is really, really efficient.
How have you, in your history, gone about finding mentors? Does it sort of happen naturally through networking, or do you sort of look out for certain types of people that you admire?
Well, it's not about people that you admire. It's about people that can really be committed to helping you and to give you the true perspective of who you are and what you need to improve. You don't want a mentor to tell you you're doing great.
Yeah.
You want a mentor to tell you you're doing great, but here is what you need to improve. And these type of people, you need to have the right people that can tell you that, the people that are going to be credible enough for you to say, you're going to accept their feedback, and you need people that are going to be willing to spend the time and effort to give you that feedback.
Right.
But then when you find these people, it's great.
Yeah. How do you foster creative and innovative thinking in your organizations?
Well, that's a tough one. I think what you need is to look at every possible innovation as including the small steps. People think very often on innovation like I'm going to solve cancer.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Of course, we all want that. But what are every small step? What's even if you improve the journey of patients, if you improve a process, if you speed up something by 10%, that gets you a product on the market, a quarter earlier,
Yeah.
you're going to save lives. So every small piece of innovation is valuable, and let's not always focus on the super big innovation, but let's look at all the small steps that can be improved, and that's and at the end, if you improve continuously like that, every small step, the multiplying effect is going to result in large innovation.
Yeah. How important do you feel tackling gender and diversity issues are in business for those in leadership roles?
But it's something that I find naturally important. So I have a small team of about 50 people, and I think 15 nationalities, and 55% female.
Okay.
It's not that it's not for trying, but it's to make sure that we have different perspective.
Yeah.
And it's not just gender or cultural balance, but it's also a balance of people that have a science background or a business background, or it's having a different group of people, especially when you're facing complex projects and complex issues, is helping you in a fantastic way to solve them.
Yeah.
If you have people that all think alike, you're going nowhere. You're listening to yourself.
Yeah. It's very interesting. A lot of leaders that I've spoken to, that sort of seems to be the trend in this industry, is much more about not so much gender and inclusivity, but about sort of the personalities and the types of thinking that help you think outside of the box.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. So I guess, what's one piece of advice that you might be able to offer somebody who's aspiring to become a leader?
The key piece of advice is be curious, be humble. So really ask questions, go beyond your scope of, if you're a scientist, learn about business, learn about finance, think strategy, think pricing, think, especially in our industry where, all these parameters are important. And if you're a business person, look at the science, talk to scientists, understand what they're facing, their challenges, really ask questions and get to know the other side of, the coin that is making our companies, work.
Yeah.
And the broader the picture you have, the broader the understanding of the, of what it takes to achieve our goals, and the better you'll be.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.